Hello, Assalamu alaikum. So, how are you all? So, today I'd like to talk about the essential and rational matter of international law, and which is ongoing right now in the present generation, and this will be also ongoing in the future generation. For example, America is attacking against every country. Even no state can't any kind of right to exercise his superpower veto power against America and American dynasty. So that means that America is the only one superpower in the modern state and modern state procedure. So in the recent time, America has a very big issues with the symptom of Iran, and Iran is actually failed to destroy the American dynasty in the Middle East. So there are actually very big reasons why Iran is actually failed not to organize a very good war policy for maintaining a very good strategy in the development procedure of war strategy between Iran and Israel. And you know that America is actually the third power, and he has not a single affiliation with the Israel versus Iran war. But why America is attacking the Iran and Iranian elements surrounding all over the world. This is the actual power politics of the universe. You know that power politics is everything in the dependency of the modern politics. In the name of democracy, the first class leaders, actually America, Russia, even the European leaders, they only have own intention to nurture the power politics, and by reserving the power politics, they would like to establish their own regime. For example, you can take the example of Middle East. The Middle East leaders, they have no belief on dynasty, civilization, even on democracy. They totally believe in the power politics. They totally believe in the economic politics. And two types of politics is actually harmful for the universe and the universe people. For example, very recently, Iran made a sanction on the Hormuz Strait, and you know that Hormuz Strait is actually important not only for the Iran but also for the all over the country, because 70% of the oil is actually passing through the Hormuz Strait, and there are another strait. The strait's name is Bab el Mandeb. Even Iran has same intention to stop the procedure of the Bab el Mandeb very recently. But the question may arise, why Iran is taking these types of malified activities against the world leaders, against the world people actually. Is it possible for the Iranian government to stop the Hormuz Strait? Actually, it is not possible for the Iranian state to stop and to make a embargo on the Hormuz Strait, because Hormuz Strait is on kind of international strait, and there is actually possible for the essential transaction of the oil and the oil crisis from all over the world. So if Iran make any kind of embargo over the Hormuz Strait, this is the clear violation of international law. You know that according to the UNCLOS means United Convention on Law of the Sea. UNCLOS definitely says about the innocent passes and passes without any kind of interruption in the international strait and in the international ocean. But you know that high sea is not for the all. The individual state, they can take the advantage of exclusive economic zone. What do you mean by the exclusive economic zone? Exclusive economic zone is on kind of place for the world states. They can take the advantage of 200 nautical mile beside his state territory. But you know that according to the international law of the sea, territorial jurisdiction, innocent passage is actually important. But Iran definitely violates the importance of the innocent passage. Whenever Iran is violating the innocent passage for all over the state, that means that Iran is actually not supervise the mechanism of international law in the modern state. So if it is ongoing in the future time, that will create a precedent. All kinds of poor countries or the developing countries, they will take the same advantage. For example, beside Bangladesh, there is Bay of Bengal. So if Bangladesh has the intention to make an embargo on the Bay of Bengal, how is it possible for the international state to make a innocent passage through the Bay of Bengal? It is actually clear violation of international law. Iran have to question for these activities. Even before that, we have to remind why Iran is taking these types of misleading activities against the world leaders and world policy. I mean that this is not only the realization of Iran, actually, America is actually liable for these types of activities. Even you know that for the first time, the war is actually between Iran and Israel, and America is the third party. So being a third party, he directly involved in the war without any kind of justification. And you know that in the name of intervention, in the name of terrorism, it is actually impossible to attack against any country. So America is doing these types of activities on the democratic figure of Article 51 of the UN Charter. Even the same activities has been ongoing in the interpretation of the Ukraine versus Israel war. Even without any kind of justification, Putin directly or indirectly hampered the common lifestyle, the pacific lifestyle of the Ukrainian people. So it is actually violation of the international law. So as I'm saying about the international law and violation of the international law, but international leaders, they are actually unable to stop these types of activities because the five superpowers, the five big countries has the veto power according to Article 27 of the UN Charter. So what is the ultimate resolution of the future time? Actually, for making a very good settlement policy, for making a very good justification policy, even if the world leaders would like to stop the war strategy against the developing country, poor country, definitely Article 27 of the United Charter must be demolished. Without demolishing Article 27, you have no right, actually. You are actually unable to interpret the Pacific settlement in the disputable countries. You know that against Ukraine, Russia is actually vandalizing everything according to Article 51 of the UN Charter by the name of self-determination. Self-determination means every nation state, every state has the power to supervise his country without any kind of interruption, without any kind of burden issue. But Russian government, I mean that Vladimir Lenin Putin, he's directly violated the international law according to Article 51. In reiteration, Article 24 of the UN Charter, it is actually said that intervention is actually prohibited against any kind of country. This country can be Bangladesh, this country can be Myanmar, this country can be Pakistan. But why the international leaders, they are doing the same activities after knowing this is actually prohibited? This is only for show that I have the power, I can do anything, I can do anything. After doing anything, I have no liability over the world politics or world systematic dimension. So this is the biggest reasons why the world leaders, they are not stop their procedure in the modern time, in the modern philosophy. So I think that veto power, self-determination, even the Pacific settlement, these types of activities must be stopped right now. Otherwise, in the future time, our future generation, they will also be surviving for these types of malpractices of the malpractitioner. Even you know that the United Nations, actually it is a nominal organization. Most of the people says that United Nations is the sole institutionship. By this way, they can make a very good Pacific settlement, they can make a very good wise settlement between and among the countries, but it is actually not possible by the United Nations itself to maintain a Pacific settlement over the burden issue, over the disputable issue. So from 1920 to 2026, this is more than 106 years, and within this time, United Nations is actually failed to interpret the Pacific settlement and good settlement among the nation states. So I think that the world leaders, they have to maintain another international organization. By this way, they can initiate a very good settlement about the present disputable measurement of the universe, and that is actually important for our common lifestyle and to make a very good resolution program for the developing countries. While I'm talking about the veto power, I have to also talk about their power politics. So for the developing procedure, for reducing the consumerism, we have to make more development, we have to make more equitable, establish the equitable principles on the basis of the United Charter, and definitely to make a very good recommendation of the United Charter, we have to collectively work over it. Otherwise, we have no option in reshaping the settlement policy between the Iran, Israel, between the Ukraine and Russia. So this is my last language. International law is the vanishing point of jurisprudence, but this jurisprudence can be structured and codified if the world leaders nurturing a very good mindset for provoking, for reducing the world problems in the future time. Thank you.